Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Giudice reveals his true feelings about Teresa's husband Louie Ruelas. Giudice is speaking candidly about Teresa Giudice's husband, Louie Ruelas, after years of speculation about where the two men stand. The former Real Housewives of New Jersey star joined his daughter Giudice on her Casual Chaos with Giudice podcast on August 18, from his home in the Bahamas. On the recently released episode of his daughter's podcast, Joe discussed everything from his time on Bravo to his high-profile deportation case. He also addressed Teresa's husband, whom she married in 2022. "He's a good guy," Joe said about Louie, adding that people who doubt him simply don't know him like I know him. Joe elaborated further, saying, "I think that if they actually met Louie, then they'll see a different Louie." He also agreed with Gia's remarks about respecting Ruelas, especially since his daughters Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana Giudice live under his roof. During the podcast, Joe made it clear that his priority remains his children and their well-being. He also spoke about his bond with Teresa, despite their divorce. "I'll always be Teresa's friend, no matter what," Joe said, adding that he maintains a never-say-never attitude about whether the two could ever reconcile romantically in the future. Joe emphasized that there is no ongoing feud between himself and Ruelas, addressing past rumors that he had made negative comments. "I don't know why everyone has to take everything out of context. I know there are a lot of stories out there saying I commented badly on Louie," he said. "I've spent time with Louie, and I want to say I would never say anything wrong about him." The businessman also praised Louie as a stepfather. "Louie is a great guy and very good to my daughters," Joe said in an August 2024 Instagram story. "My daughters are very fortunate to have him in their lives. I'm grateful for that. That's all I have to say. Enough with this BS." Ruelas, who has two sons of his own, previously spoke about the challenges of joining Teresa and Joe's blended family. On Teresa's Turning the Tables podcast, he admitted the transition came with worries. "I was afraid that your daughters wouldn't see me," Louie told Teresa. "There's such an amazing feeling when you're a guy, and you're a stepfather, and you're acknowledged. I have a lot of friends that are stepfathers, and they are forgotten about because the attention goes towards the real dad. I never feel like that." Despite the initial fear, he went on to explain that the bond he's built with Teresa's children has been deeply rewarding. For now, Joe says their blended family and his relationship with Teresa and Louie remains steady. "They FaceTime me often, and I'm happy my kids are in good hands," Joe said on Gia's podcast. "At the end of the day, that's all that matters." Giudice has never been a man who hides behind polished words or sugar-coated statements. Fans of The Real Housewives of New Jersey know him as tough, blunt, and unapologetically himself. For years, the world saw Joe as Teresa Giudice's other half, her sometimes rough-around-the-edges husband, who was deeply intertwined with her journey through reality TV, family chaos, and legal troubles. But that chapter ended when the couple finalized their divorce, and Teresa found love again with Louie Ruelas. At first, many wondered how Joe truly felt about the new man in Teresa's life. Would jealousy creep in? Would old wounds resurface? Or would Joe embrace Louie as a part of the family dynamic, considering his 4 daughters, Gia, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana, now have a stepfather figure in their lives? After years of silence, hints, and guarded responses, Joe has finally peeled back the curtain. His feelings toward Louie are far more layered than anyone might expect. A complicated past. When Teresa first introduced Louie to the public, Giudice was in Italy, rebuilding his life after deportation. He had already endured prison time, the strain of a long-distance marriage, and the painful realization that he and Teresa were no longer meant to be together. Divorce, though amicable on paper, came with emotional scars. "I didn't want to hold her back," Joe admitted in a candid conversation. She deserved happiness, and we both knew our marriage couldn't work the way things were. But watching her move on, it wasn't easy. I'd be lying if I said it didn't sting at first. For Joe, Louie wasn't just another man. He was the man stepping into a role Joe once held, the man sitting at holiday dinners, holding Teresa's hand at events, and even cheering for his daughters at milestones. It was a reminder that life had moved forward in New Jersey while Joe's had taken a very different path overseas. The first impressions. Joe recalls the early days of hearing about Louie through his daughters. At first, I was skeptical. I mean, come on, it's natural. Here's this guy who's with your ex-wife, who's around your kids, and you don't know him from a hole in the wall. Of course, you've got questions, Joe said. But the girls spoke positively about Louie. Joe would share how Louie made an effort to support her law school journey. Melania would talk about how he encouraged her big personality instead of trying to tame it. Even little Adriana would gush about the kindness Louie showed. When your kids are happy, you listen. And they weren't just saying it to please their mom. They genuinely liked the guy, Joe explained. That made me stop and think, maybe he's not so bad. Respect over rivalry. Contrary to the dramatic scenes Orihyo fans might expect, Joe didn't approach Louie with hostility. Instead, he surprised everyone by extending a level of respect. I've never been about fighting over the past, Joe revealed. Look, Teresa and I, we had our time. We built a family, we went through the worst together, and we came out on the other side. But I'm not the type to hate the next guy. If he treats her right, and he treats my daughters right, that's all that matters. Joe admits he was relieved when he realized Louie wasn't trying to erase him from the picture. Some guys might come in and try to push the real dad out. Louie didn't do that. He let the girls keep their relationship with me, no drama. That takes maturity, and for that, I give him credit. Louie's role in the family. As Teresa and Louie's marriage blossomed, fans speculated whether Joe felt replaced. Surprisingly, Joe views it differently. Do I feel replaced? No, nobody can replace a father. I'll always be their dad, and nothing changes that, Joe stated firmly. But I also see how Louie brings stability to their lives. He's their day-to-day in ways I can't be right now. I'd rather have a man who loves them and respects them than someone who doesn't care. In that sense, Louie's a good thing. Joe even confessed that Louie sometimes bridges the gap between him and his daughters, encouraging them to call or video chat when schedules get hectic. That tells me the guy's not insecure, he's not threatened by me, and you know what? That's how it should be. The kids benefit when the adults act like adults. A shared bond through Teresa. Though they'll never be best friends, Joe acknowledges that he and Louie share one unshakable connection, Teresa. She's always going to be the mother of my kids, and I'll always care about her, no matter what. We went through hell and back. Louie knows that, and I think he respects that history. He doesn't try to compete with it. Instead, he focuses on being the man she needs now, Joe reflected. Joe even admitted to admiring Louie's ability to support Teresa publicly. Teresa's strong, but she also needs someone who's got her back, especially in that crazy Housewives world.